We are now ready to use a robotic arm, so look for cell setup, and mine is right here. It's a really old looking icon. In order to use a robotic arm, you have to set up the robotic arm cell for every different application that you're using. So I'm going to give an example one. I want you to do this one with me. Click New, and we have the ER4U. That's the robotic arm we have in the milling room. Click OK. Remember, you can pause this at any time if you need to catch up. Now, the first thing we're going to do is click on General, and we are going to add a table. So I'm double clicking on Table, and we'll make it a yellow table. That's fine. Click OK, and then place it. And so I just clicked and placed it here. I'm going to right click and move the mouse up. That zooms in so you can see the controls here. If I pull this, it pans it down. It's kind of nice to be able to see it a little bit more isometric. We are now going to add the robot, so I click Robot, I double click ER4U. If you look in the milling room, we actually do have a slide base on ours. We're going to put one without the slide base. We're not going to have it slide from left to right, not yet. There will be a program where you do that. So we added it to the table, there it is. And I'm going to add a material. I'm going to add a cube. So I double click cube. I'm going to change the color of mine. Click color. I'm going to change mine to green. I just find that green and yellow really go well together. You probably would agree with that. Well, let me place that right there. So I placed mine a little bit off center. It doesn't really matter where you place it. You can do the same basic exercise with this. So we're done with this. I'm going to click File, save this as, and I have a few names in here because I just practiced this whole thing. Let's call this, I'm going to call it Brian Practice Cell Setup. And I save this in my folder, so you probably would want to create a folder for Robocell. That's the name of the, or you could call it Cell Setup, as long as you can find it. And I'm going to save it there. So now it is saved. Now I actually quit this program, and I'm going to open up Robocell. So here it is. And we do a new program first, so click the New tab here. And now I'm going to do File and import a 3D model. I'm going to import the cell setup that I made, and that was Brian Practice Cell Setup. So I'm going to open that, and there it is. Now my windows are all messed up and it's kind of a pain, so I'm going to go to Window and click Simulation and Teach. That puts everything neatly in their places. At this point, I'm going to demo for you a little bit of how to move the robotic arm. So this is exactly like the one we have in the other room. These are the commands that you're going to end up using. Let's see, let's get this window to show up in front here. There we go. So I kind of had to click on this one first and then over to here to get it to show up. Let's expand this. We're going to go to Commands, and I'm going to open all of them up so you can see them. Right now I don't have a whole lot of options, and this is okay. This is on L1, Introductory, then we have Advanced, and then we have Professional. If you click Professional, you can see there is a boatload of other options here. And that's okay. You are a professional, so that's what we're going to have it set at. So the first thing that I'm going to have you do is the same thing you're going to do for every single one of these. We're going to add some remarks. So remarks are RE. So if you, and this is all your keyboard shortcut commands, it's RE. So if I click over here and I press the keys RE, then it says, what do you want to write? So I'm going to say that this is practice 1, enter key. And then there, this is my line of code. This is just like your CNC code line, just one line at a time, or writing code. I'm going to put another remark, RE, and now I'm going to put my name and hit enter. Another remark, and I'm going to add the class period, period 5 or 6 depending on who's watching this. And I'll do one more remark. I'll put the date just because I can, and I actually want you to have these for every single one of them. So the first remark is going to be the actual activity number, and then your name, and then the class period, and then the date. So we have set up a program, and it will not read any of these. These are like the green double slashes. I'm going to sneeze, so I'm going to pause it. Oh boy, I did definitely just sneeze. Alright, so let's go back to this thing. We are, let's write a little program that just opens this little gripper and then closes it. So right now OG is open gripper, so I'm going to click back to program window and I'm going to type OG, and it just says open gripper there. Isn't that delicious? Now I need to put a wait time in here because if I just do open gripper and then close gripper, it happens instantly. So let's look for wait. Wait is WT down here. So I wonder what happens if I double click that. I wonder if it'll put it up there. I'm going to say 20 tenths of a second. That means 2 seconds. Oh, look at that. It puts it up there. So you have two options. Now we're going to close the gripper. So close gripper is CG. I'm going to click over here. You have to make sure you click in the active window, CG. And now let's see what happens. So let me change my window back to simulation and teach, kind of tuck that back in there. And I need to start on the first line of my code, so I click 1. And this will run the code repeatedly, continuously. This runs it a single line at a time, and this runs one cycle, the entire code through once. So let's run it continuously. Oh, what is going on? Do you see that? It's pretty awesome. So I'm going to scroll this. I'm going to pan a little bit, zoom in. It's open and then it flashes closed because I didn't put a wait time down here. So let's stop that and let's go to line 8, hit WT for wait, and I'll wait 10 tenths of a second or 1 second. If I run this continuously, nothing happens because I'm starting on line 9. So now I'm going to go up to line 5. People are making fun of me out of my office. And I'm going to run continuously. So now it's open for 2 seconds, close for 1. Open for 2, close for 1. Yay, that's really exciting. So we'll stop that. That's pretty cool. We're now going to teach it positions. So now that you know how to open and close gripper, I'm going to press the delete key. It's right above all the arrow keys. I'm going to hit delete. Oops, my window wasn't open. Got to click on that window. Hit delete. And that's how you get rid of them. Backspace does not work. You have to hit the delete key. So what we're going to do is we're going to move this arm and we're going to pick up this block and we're going to slide it over. So let's teach positions. You have to teach it. Whenever it's at the original position right here, that's called position 99, and you'll see that in the first activity. So I'm going to type 99 down here and teach positions. And then if I click this key here, record position, it now knows that position 99 is there and it shows up in my positions. Let's change manual movement to XYZ so that this arm moves in the XYZ coordinates rather than by the joints, this joint, and this joint, and then the arm joint here. A little bit easier to control. So let's move it in the X direction, which is actually forward in this case. It's kind of different from the milling machine. So if I hit X1, now speed is set to 5. I'm going to turn it to 10 because I'm not very patient. So I'm moving it back and forth. Z moves it down, and Y moves a couple joints at a time. It's kind of cool. It's got to extend it out as it moves it over to move in the Y direction. So you can see it extends it out. Now the error means that we have passed the limit of this robot. It won't go any further than that. That's its work envelope, just like what you looked at in the PowerPoint and the worksheet that we did prior to this. So click OK. Alright, so that's past the work plan, but that's okay. I don't need to go that far. So go down in the Z, and I need to kind of adjust my position here. Let's go down in the Z a little bit more. I'm going to go back in the Y. Whoops, the wrong way. Go back in the Y. And it looks like I need to sort of tilt the hand, so I tilted that. Now that looks pretty vertical on there. I need to go forward a little bit. So you're going to have to kind of play with the positioning to get it where you want it. And whoops, and right, there we go. Now I'm going to record this position here because it's just above the block. So if position 1 is on top of the block, position 1 or 11 is above the block. So I'm going to teach this as position 11, and we click teach, and now I'm going to go down, and that's position 1. And the reason is a single digit is plane 1 or level 1. 11 is level 2. 21 is level 3. 31 is level 4. So if you have to stack blocks, it helps you know where you're going. 0, 1, or 1 is the original level. 1, 1 is above it. 2, 1 is above that. 3, 1 is above that, and so on. So we have we taught that one? Yeah, we taught 11. But I didn't teach position 1. So 1 is the ground level. So I go to position number, I click 1, and I hit teach. So now I've taught 1, 11, and 99. Now I'm going to lift it up, and I'm going to move it over. Oops, wrong way. And I'm going to go to here, and I'm going to teach this as position 22 because position 2 is down here. So 22, or sorry, 12. I'm sorry. 12 is here. So we'll teach that. And if we go all the way down, that's position 2. So again, position 2, then 12 would be above that, 22 above that, 32 above that. So we've taught everything. So now let's go back. So I'm going to type in 99, and then this key over here says go to that position. So it's going to go to position 99. Good. So now I'm going to write some code. I want it to, let's hit commands, and I want it to go to the position, and it actually is better to just go to position because then it follows the natural arc of the machine. If you do linear, it will go in a straight line to that position, and at times you could bind up the machine and you'll get an error. Either GP or GL could work. I'm gonna just do GP in this one. So we're gonna go to position, and we want to go to position 11, which is just above the block. And I'm going to do it by joint, and I'm going to do a speed of 5. That is a safe speed, 5. So we'll click OK. Now we're going to go to position 1, which is right on the block, joint at a speed of 5. And let me change this one. If you're going to a point above a block, you can actually go fast. So I'm going to make that one fast. So you can say I changed it by just clicking on it. So we're going to position 11 fast, then 1 at a moderate speed. And now we want to close the gripper. So CG for close gripper. Now we go back to position 11. GP 11. That should be just above this block. And we're going to do that slower now because we have the block in hand. Now that we've gone straight up, because you never really want to go diagonally. So we go straight up and then straight over. So we've gone to position 11. Now we're going to go to position 12. So GP, let's open this window again. GP 12, joint speed 5, GP position 2. So it's going to drop it down, speed of 5. Now we open the gripper, and then we go to position 12 again, slowly, go to the position above that block slowly, and then you can rapidly go back to position 99, the starting position. So we'll go fast there. So let's run this and we'll see what happens. We'll run it once because the block won't be in the same place the second time. So we're running it. It goes down, it picked it up, it's going to position 12, position 2, open, oops. So the motion is too great, an error impact occurred because it actually went lower than I could have gone. So I need to redo position 2. Right now is actually probably a safe place for position 2 because it barely is touching, but I'm going to hit Z up just a tiny, just a one tiny click, and I'm going to hit 2, and I'm going to reteach 2. So now we're going to redo this this setup. Oh, it's the one thing I can't remember how to do. Hold on, I'm going to pause you. Just kidding, I knew how to do it. If you click this button here, it says reset work cell, and it will reset it for you. So you can see right now the gripper starts closed, and I screwed that up. So I'm wondering if we can insert a comment into here. If not, there's got to be a way to do it. I'll find that out. So we click open gripper. I'm going to have to start it with the gripper open. Oh, looks like I just clicked it, and it inserted it into there. Well, that is fantastic. Now let's run it, and we'll see if it works at this point. And you can actually turn on a robot path. So if I click that, it will show the path, which is kind of cool. I'm going to need to see that for your final project. And it dropped it down, and now it brings it up, and there we go. So that is a final program. You're going to do this numerous different times, and then copy and paste some of your code and your screenshot of your robot, and we should be good to go. So I think that's all we need to show for this project.